Good morning, Bill.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're excited to hear what you have to share.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll be just as excited after I'm done.
I'm sure we will, or we'll fake it. All right. Good morning, Susie. Oh, you're muted.
Here. Okay. Good morning.
Good
I always
morning.
think of you driving in the cold.
Yeah, it's rough in the morning when it's this cold out.
Oh, it is, but I think the sun's coming up. It's pretty.
I was gonna say that's a beautiful background you have there. The scenery.
Yeah, it's a little splitting pond behind the house. And
That's nice.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's very pretty. Good. Do you have anything new you want to share with us today on Mesa, or just kind of?
We're meeting next Wednesday, the 8th.
Okay, all right,
Right.
perfect.
I mean, things are, well, maybe behind the scenes down south they're doing things, but
Yeah,
it's pretty quiet. It's just too cold in the
yeah.
warehouse to do anything. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we can't ask people to go out and freeze like that.
Oh, no, it's
Left.
not good for our health either.
No, we'll just ask for money instead
Right.
for now.
That's good. And, hopefully there can be a bike rally. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. We're so spoiled because I love it. Rotary, somebody brings or bring it.
Oh, I know.
Thanks all that. Yeah.
I know. All right, I'll give everyone a few more minutes. It looks like we've got more people joining. So,
Oh, there. Good morning.
here we go.
I see Lori. I get to talk to her tomorrow.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We have a
She's like, I'm not sure about that. I need to check my calendar.
Well, I have a meeting, but the organizer's name is the only name I see, so I have no idea who else is coming. So,
Oh,
yay.
well, I get to
Good to
see you
know.
tomorrow. I think the word is see.
Yeah.
Zoom or WebEx or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
good. All right. Here we go.
Hey, Lori, I think our office is going to do that adopter room, so I will get in touch with
That's
you.
fantastic. Perfect.
Let me get the rest of it organized, but hopefully I'll know by tomorrow how many
Okay.
and when we can get. Let us know.
Okay.
Good.
Hi, Bill. Long time no see.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. How's Kyle?
Good. Really good. Thanks for asking.
Oh. I see Pat and Lisa up on there together.
How are you doing, Nissa?
Good. I've got about 8 weeks to go. So
That's so crazy.
I can't believe how quickly it's gone.
Are you guys ready with the nursery and all?
Yes. Yep.
Good.
Got a
Good.
space themed nursery. I love it.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. All right, I'm going to give everyone one more minute to see if we get some last minute joiners, and then we can go ahead and kick the meeting off. Get started. right. If you would all join me, I'm going to share my screen here. And we will get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could stand for a moment. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you'll pray with me this morning. Lord God, Heavenly Father, we pray for your protection today as we begin this day. You are our hiding place, our safe place, and under your wings we can always find refuge. Protect us from trouble wherever we go, and keep far from us any evil. No matter where we are, we look to you as our protector, the one who fights for us every single day. Your love and faithfulness, along with your goodness and mercy, surround us daily, so we fear not whatever might come against us. Our trust is in you, God, and we give thanks to you for your love and protection. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, and the four-way test for all of us Rotarians of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair
to all concerned?
Will it build
Goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very much. All right, so does look like we have more and more Rotarians joining. Welcome, everybody. We're into February now. Yay! Yesterday was Groundhog Day. Did anybody hear if Phil happened to see a shadow? Oh boy.
Oh,
good.
Oh no.
6 more weeks.
I shouldn't have asked. I should have just let it be out there. That figures. Not surprising with all the snow we've had dumped on us the last couple of days, though. So, all right. Well, life in Ohio. It is what it is. We all choose to be here, right?
What can you do? What can you do?
Yep. Oh no. Do we have another despaired Matt Klein today with nothing else to look forward to? Are you good? You happy?
Great.
Okay, we've got us in a better mood today. Wonderful. Well, I do first want to welcome our guest speaker for the day. Joining us today is Bill Davis from Toledo Zoo Volunteers. So we're excited to have him speak. Before we get into his presentation, Mr. Klein, do you have some trivia for us?
I do have some trivia for the august group that is assembled this morning. As you all are undoubtedly aware, it is Super Bowl week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and they'll be taking them on in Tampa Bay. So a slight home field advantage for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. We'll see if he can take his 43-year-old body one more time to the pinnacle of NFL football and win another.
He can handle it. He can absolutely handle it.
Go Tom. Yeah. Last time I saw Tom Brady play, it was interesting.
Oh, yeah?
He was a quarterback at Michigan. Michigan had just won a co-national championship. The 97, they split the championship. They opened up the next season in 98, and Tom Brady was the starting quarterback. They came into South Bend and were dismantled by the Irish. So that was my first experience with Tom Brady. So.
Well, that had to make you happy then.
It made me very pleased. So all of today's questions are going to be about Super Bowl trivia, just very lighthearted, fun Super Bowl trivia stuff. Okay, here we go. Just shout out the answers if you know them, people. The first Super Bowl, played in 1967, featured the Green Bay Packers versus this team.
Kansas City
Who
Chiefs.
played the Packers in the first Super Bowl?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs is correct because Chris Wren remembers watching the game.
Nice job, Chris.
Good job. All right. He knew many of the participants personally, I'm sure.
I can even I can tell you the
Super Bowl. Super Bowl III. this quarterback guaranteed that his underdog team would defeat the Baltimore Colts?
Joe
Joe
Namath.
Namath.
Joe Namath, man, you people are so smart. I am amazed every
I'm
week.
impressed.
Here we go. Ah, they're going to get tougher, though, people. The Denver Broncos and this team are tied with the most Super Bowl losses with 5 apiece.
Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
Minnesota Vikings.
No, wait, no, it's not. Bills have 4.
Mm.
Not the Vikings.
Not the Vikings. It's not the Bills.
It's an AFC team, though, isn't it, Matt?
It would be an AFC team. That is correct.
It's not the Browns.
You're going to kick
No, it's
yourself.
not. Ha
Or the Jets.
I am drunk.
Yeah, they have to get there to lose.
Cincinnati's been to a few, but not that many.
It's the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
It's the Patriots. They've been there so many times, they've lost 5 of them.
Wow.
They had a couple that they lost back in the 80s.
Yeah. One with Bill Parcells that lost.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people, they think of the Patriots winning. Well, they get to the Super Bowl a lot. They've actually, just lost a couple, and they had a few back in the 90s and 80s. So it is the Patriots. Gotcha.
Yeah, sure did.
The Super Bowl winning team, the Super Bowl winning team is presented this trophy named for a legendary coach.
Vince Lombardi.
The Lombardi Trophy is correct. Vince Lombardi. Final question. This year, they're playing in Tampa Bay, but what city has hosted the most Super Bowls with 11?
Miami.
Miami is correct.
Wow.
That's all I have today, people. Great job.
Friend Day in trivia.
Yeah, good questions. Nicole and Chris Ryan, you guys sure really led the team there. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go through and do happy dollars. I'm getting a lot of feedback, so if you guys can mute yourselves until we get to you for happy dollars, that would be awesome, just to limit a little bit of that. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Amy, are you available to share what you're happy for today?
Good morning, everyone. I am happy because the middle grandson celebrated his 10th birthday yesterday on Groundhog's Day, digits. So he's excited. He goes, Mimi, I'm a whole 2 hands now. And he was upset, though. He thought that I would be upset because I've always celebrated with him on his birthday, but he was going sledding with friends. And I said, that is perfectly fine. We'll do it tomorrow night. So tonight's the night.
Aw. Well, what a fun way to celebrate, though. That's awesome. Fun. All right, Beth, how about you? What are you happy for today?
I am happy. We had 100 seniors that came to 50 North last week to get vaccinated. That was huge.
Wow.
And we will be opening. We have a soft opening on the 16th with the actual fitness center and activities, limited participation, everything else. And then on March 1st, our cafe will open. So slowly but surely, people have been banging on our doors. We did find out within a 100-mile radius, all the senior centers are open, except us. And so we were trying to be very, very safe. So we will be starting to open up.
Awesome. Well, that is very exciting. I'm sure everybody's interested and excited to see what it looks like in there. And we don't even have Jeff Rachel in here to ask him if he can make an appearance now that he qualifies to be a senior to tell us what it looks like.
That's great.
Next week. All right, Betsy, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Sorry, did you say me?
Yes, I did.
I was asking my husband for more coffee. So,
oh,
I am happy that we had canceled our vacation to go to Florida last week. We were supposed to leave Thursday, but with work and my niece is getting married, we didn't want to, risk getting COVID or anything again. And so Nate gave birth to a kidney stone while we were home this weekend. A pretty good size one. We spent Sunday in the ER, but I'm glad that we were home and we rebooked our vacation for the 28th of February. So we're still getting it in.
Well, that's good. And hopefully Nate is feeling better because
Hey, he's feeling like
Thankfully-
$1 million.
Feeling good.
yeah, I bet. I hear that's pretty darn painful. So glad he's through all that.
It was a rough 12 hours. We'll just say that.
Yikes. All right. Bill Davis, how about you? You want to share something you're happy for today?
It's a pop quiz. I'm happy to be home. This is my Saturday, so as soon as I'm done with this call, I will take a nap. So it'll be exciting. So I'm happy to kick off my weekend and happy to relax for a couple days.
Very nice. I'm kind of envious. That sounds really nice right now. Take a nap for all of us.
It's a good day for it.
Oh, yeah. All right, Chad, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Hey, I am happy for Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, the movie, because it is every year. I only watch it once a year, of course, and every year I forget how wonderful it is as a movie. And I think I should watch it more than just once a year. So I got to I didn't see it start to finish. I saw it about halfway to finish and then start to halfway last night. So it was a nice little comedic break.
Absolutely. That is a great movie. I'm with you on that. Chris Wren, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Can everybody hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, two things. Number one, very happy to have Bill Davis presenting from the Toledo Zoo. A little bit of trivia. My oldest daughter, who is now a wildlife biologist out in Oregon, did an internship in high school and in the beginning of college at the Toledo Zoo. I drove her one summer and then she drove herself up to Toledo Zoo every damn day to do an internship at the Toledo Zoo. It was the greatest experience she ever had, and it is mostly the reason why she's doing what she's doing today. So that's important. Second thing, a little bit of trivia for everybody. The movie Groundhog Day that Chad just referenced, that movie was not filmed in Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. That movie was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois. Most of you don't even know where Woodstock, Illinois is. Woodstock, Illinois is a little suburb outside of Chicago. If you rent that movie and watch that movie where Ned Ryerson is fighting with Bill Murray over and over and over in that movie, if you look up to the top right-hand corner of the picture of that movie when Ned Ryerson confronts him, it says Woodstock Jewelers. Woodstock Jewelers was a jewelry store of my dad and mom's best friends who lived in Woodstock, Illinois. My parents watched the filming of that movie in 1993. So just a little bit of trivia.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. No, I had no idea. I'm sure we are all now better educated for having known that, and we can always count on Chris Wren for all the little tidbits of trivia. He has a wealth of information. That's awesome, though. Very cool. All right, Christina, what are you happy for today?
Well, I am happy to share a message from our fellow old Rotarian Charles Leitner down in sunny Florida. Wanted me to tell everybody hi. And he saw all the snow that we were getting and laughed hysterically.
Thanks a lot. Tell him hi and that we miss him.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, Kurt, are you there?
Yes. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
So I'm just continuing to be grateful that we're healthy and continue to try to exercise as much as we can. And so yeah, we've learned how to do cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. So it's been an outdoor adventure.
Nice. That sounds like fun. Definitely a good way to stay active. All right, Lori, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Well, I debated on what I would say I was happy for today. So if you may have noticed, my background is once again at home because I'm under quarantine for the rest of this week and next. The happy news is I no longer have to worry whether or not I'll get COVID. So yay, we've had a little run of COVID, and luckily, since I don't go a lot of places, I can pretty much track where I got it, and the symptoms are pretty mild, but it's almost a relief. So now I know that I don't have to worry about getting it anymore, but I really don't have time to be.
Yeah.
So thank God for technology and I can work from home.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it's pretty mild and you'll be through it pretty quickly then, and you don't have to worry anymore. So, all right. Take care and get some rest, though. Don't work too hard. Matt Klein, how about you? What are you happy for today? You are muted.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, as much as I dislike the winter weather with each passing year, this week has been kind of nice. I like snow in short, small doses, and it allowed me to take our youngest daughter, our 10-year-old. We went out and did some sledding Sunday, and that was nice because she's the last of our 5 kids, so I probably don't have many more sledding trips than me. So to be able to get her out one time was very nice.
That is nice. I do miss it. I've heard a lot of people went sledding over the weekend, and makes me feel like I need to go out and give that a try again. Nicole, how about you? What are you happy for today?
I'm going to kind of piggyback on Chris a little bit. I am happy, believe it or not, for remote meetings so that Bill can join us today. It's not easy to schedule people at 7:30 in the morning when we're live in front of each other that aren't from Findlay. So I'm just really glad he could join us today. My son was a zoo teen under Bill for, 3 or 4 summers. So I made that trip to the zoo quite a bit, and a couple of those summers were with 75 under construction. So I don't miss that part, but great program. So I'm excited for you guys to hear about it.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. And sadly, I'm pretty sure 75 is always under construction. It's just a different phase. Nissa and Pat, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Well, I don't know if everybody knows how easily it is for me to sit still and watch a movie. Doesn't go well, but over the weekend I made it through my first movie in a long time. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Zombieland Double Tap, but it's pretty hilarious. So yeah, yay me.
And Bill Murray does get to have a cameo in this one too, so that was fun. My happy dollar is I got my sense of smell back. So yay!
Nice, very nice. Sometimes that's a blessing, sometimes it's a curse.
Yeah.
But we're glad you got it back. All right, Sandy, how about you? What are you happy for today?
I'm happy. Actually, last Monday we had our first COVID clinic here. So I did opt to get the vaccine, but I was very nervous just with everything everybody's talked about. So I don't believe we've had anybody that's had any kind of reaction to the vaccine, myself included. So just very happy and thankful for that.
Good to know. Thank you for sharing. Yep. We appreciate it. Susie, what about you? What are you happy for today?
Oh, I am happy, but I'm sure Chad, can he see my little Puxatawny Phil symbol, whatever? I inherited this. He comes out every year. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chad. Anyway, but I'm excited to hear about this is the only animal we see, this and a squirrel occasionally. So happy to hear about Phil, what you have to say.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody that I missed for $30? I think we covered everyone. All right, I'm just going to piggyback as well. I'm very excited to hear what Bill has to say about Toledo Zoo. I'm born and raised in Toledo, definitely have a huge sweet spot for Toledo Zoo, been a member for years and years. So always excited to hear what's going on there and excited to have you as our guest today. So Before we jump into that, I do have a couple of things for club business I want to touch on. As a reminder, we are keeping the Mesa Bike Rally kind of pegged on our calendar for September 17th to the 22nd. It's going to be open to all Rotarians and friends. Susie did mention that she is going to be having a meeting this coming week, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more information. But right now we are tentatively planning on being able to participate in the bike rally, and hopefully it does continue to go through. The Derby Gala is planned for May 1st of this year. You've probably seen some emails come through from Laura. She's been working on actually getting a lot of planning going. And the biggest push right now is to make sure that we do start asking and reaching out to anybody who's willing to help sponsor the event, and making sure that we as members are at least doing the $25 donation so that we can have the gift cards available as well. The last small item is just a reminder that our next board meeting is February 16th. It's a Tuesday at noon, and it is virtual. So if anybody wants to be a part of that, let me know and I will send you the link to it. Otherwise, I do not have anything else new for club business right now. So Nicole, if you would like to introduce our guest speaker, go ahead and welcome him.
Okay, gotcha. Hi, everybody. Bill Davis has been the director of volunteers at the Toledo Zoo for over 20 years. In any given year, the Toledo Zoo is supported by over 1,000 volunteers, including 500 plus zoo teams. Can you imagine? Placed in areas throughout the zoo. Bill oversees the recruitment and orientation process for most of the volunteer program. In addition, he directly supervises the Toledo Zoo Team program, a seasonal year service and leadership program for teenagers aged 13 to 17. Zoo teens not only support a range of activities at the zoo, but for organizations throughout the area as well, including Toledo Metro Parks, Wood County Park District, Seagate Food Bank, Partners for Clean Streams, and more. Bill holds a master's degree in organizational leadership from Lord's University, as well as a certification of volunteer administration. Bill's presentation today will discuss the Zoo Team program, reviewing its service activities and leadership development strategies, as well as general notes of interest within the zoo. Please welcome Bill.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm a little concerned because everyone's so excited to hear about the zoo. I feel like that's a build-up, so hopefully I can live up to that. So I'm going to share a screen here. All right, so can everybody see a presentation? Perfect. All right, so I'm going to talk about the volunteer department as a whole, and then I have some little tidbits and updates on the zoo in general. So what we do is the volunteer department, and we've had a couple of references. Nicole talked about the Zoo Team program. Mr. Wren talked about the internship program. So we have a pretty diverse program, and it covers a lot of territory. We have volunteers from 13 years old all the way up to the older ones get cagey. I know one of them's 88. They tend not to share their age once they reach a certain level there. They all tell me they're 21. We cover volunteers for one day for a job shadow, for example, through a particular season, like a semester for an internship. And we have volunteers. Joanne Vick's been there. She's celebrating 40 years this year as a volunteer at the zoo. So it runs the gamut. Some folks come in week after week. Others are just there for special events, but they do that on a yearly basis. So it really is a very broad net that we're able to oversee. As Nicole said, I'm pulling data from 2019. We're going to talk about 2020. That's just going to be a data anomaly that's going to take years to unpack. But in 2019, we had just over 1,000 volunteers, 833 of which are what we consider our core volunteers. So they come back over and over, even if they're just there for special events, like they're helping out with concerts or they're bartenders for the concerts. They're reliable, consistent. They come back year after year, concert after concert. So they're core volunteers for us. We also have a lot of groups that work for us, volunteer at the zoo. So organizations that'll come in if they have a volunteer work day, kind of a neighborhood involvement day, something like that. We have nonprofit organizations, so service groups will come in and do projects with us. Certainly a lot of like scout groups will do little things at the zoo. All told, 75,000 hours. of service through the volunteer program, which is a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of things. And the volunteer program really is the backbone of the Toledo Zoo in so many ways, because if you look at all those volunteers, most of which are going to be members, many of which are going to be donors. And we saw that this year, volunteers circled the wagon better than anybody when the zoo needed them the most. So it really is a privilege to be in charge of it. Our zoo team program, I just threw this up there. We represent 27 counties and 101 different school systems, including Hancock County and Findlay City Schools. So we do have zoo teams who every year make the trip up and spend some quality time. And we try to reciprocate that. We've done volunteer projects for the Hancock County Park District, for example. So we'll come down and hang out in the Flag City as well. So if we want to look at specifically at zoo teams, it started in 1999. So that was the year I started. I did not begin the zoo team program. Another staff member did, but she left, moved to Colorado, and I took over in 2001. So I've been at the zoo for 21 years, and I've directly overseen the zoo team program for 19 of those. And my beard is well aware of it. I think it's aged me considerably being in charge of that many young people. It either makes you feel incredibly young and hip and relevant, or it makes you feel like a dinosaur every single day. There's no middle ground, interestingly. It's a lot of just extremes. In 1999, we started. There were 16 of them. So it was a pilot program. We wanted to see if it would work. And then, as Nicole referenced, in 2019, we had 552. Exponential growth. And we've grown over the years, not because I have a masochistic tendency, but we've grown because there are a lot of young people who want to do things. I think America has a love-hate relationship with adolescents. We want teenagers to get off the couch and get out there and do something useful, but then we don't provide them opportunities. Some service opportunities, there are age limitations and restrictions. You have to have parental involvement for them to participate under a certain age. Transportation logistics are an obstacle. There are just a lot of things that get in their way. And so with our program, we found that they were knocking on the door. We had year after year, we had teens that wanted to get involved. And so we had to continue to expand our repertoire in order to keep up with people. We did not want to turn away lots of zoo teams for no apparent reason. So we wanted to be an inclusive program. So we do a lot of education activities on zoo grounds. If you've been at the zoo in the last decade, you've probably seen bright yellow t-shirts moving their way through the zoo, talking to little kids. And so that's what the teens do. So children's zoo stuff. Our snooze program is an overnight program, so teens help out with that, summer camps. But they're pretty much everywhere. They also do department projects, so things behind the scenes. We make enrichment treats for the animals, so the teens will do that. And then that stuff is then given to the keepers. The keepers don't have time to do that. So if they wanted to maintain the well-being of the animal's mental health, they would not be able to do that. So volunteers are able to augment that. We do things even in the wintertime. They're doing membership stuffing. So if you're a member at the zoo, odds are the envelope that you get for your membership has been pre-stuffed by one of our teens. We load those in January and February, and then they can just pull from those boxes of pre-stuffed envelopes for the next 10 months. Finally, a lot of big special events, just a lot of great things. The zoo has so many things that are going on. Every day is an event at the zoo, really. And then we do some of the unique features, and I put that in there. Zoo team programs are not uncommon now at zoos and aquariums in North America. When we started in 1999, there were some out there. It wasn't a rarity to have them, but it was still a pilot program for us. But we've taken it to the next level, and we're very proud of our zoo team program. One of the things that's unique is we do outreach programming. Because we were getting so many teens that wanted to be a part of it, and because we didn't want to turn those teens away, we started to look outside the zoo. The zoo itself is a big place, but simply does not have enough things for that many people to do that are distinct and interesting and compelling. And so we deliberately had a policy then to outsource our program, became a clearinghouse. And that's I give the zoo a lot of credit for stepping up to do that. That's resources and expenditures and things to then support other organizations. And so we started doing this way back as early as 2001. We did our first river cleanup. And in 2019, we now have two vans that are dedicated zoo team program that we picked up through grants and sponsorships and other things. And we roll those out. In 2019, we had almost 300. We had just over 350. My goal is to have a project per day on average over the course of a year. We haven't made it yet, but we're getting really close. So during the summer, we'll take both of those vans and run them 2 or even 3 projects a day. And they just go everywhere. And organizations, you know, they look forward to it. They know that a zoo van's going to pull up and a whole bunch of really enthusiastic yellow shirted kids are going to tumble out of it. And for the next 2 or 3 hours, stuff is going to get done. They are a whirlwind of energy and enthusiasm. So, which is great. And so we continue to do a lot of things. And some of the projects are really short and easy, but some, you know, Black Swamp Conservancy, that's a full day project out in the boonies. If you don't know anything about the Black Swamp Conservancy, they're in the middle of nowhere. It is the great wild of Northwest Ohio. And so they just trudge out in the middle of the woods and make some things happen. So that's great stuff. The water quality testing, little side note, that's a partnership we have with the Toledo Rotary. And so we do water sample testing with the Toledo Rotary. That's one of their initiatives. We also do a lot of community service. Conservation projects certainly seem within the wheelhouse for the zoo as a mission, but it doesn't really help us in the wintertime. And so we deliberately branched into other things, and we do a lot of community service. Our philosophy being that if people don't know where they're going to sleep at night or where their next meal's coming from, they're not particularly concerned about orangutan habitat loss. And so our goal is to help elevate everyone so that we can have some of those conversations. So we do stuff with food banks. Keely down there is donating blood, so we go to the Red Cross. You can donate blood at the age of 16, you know, with parental consent. So she actually just had them lay down the table right away. She knew she was not going to do well. So she just start with me laying down. Just we'll just skip to the end. So that's fine. You know, but it's a good time. They enjoy that. And for a lot of our teens, these are the first time they're doing things, and they kind of, you know, if you do it, I do it sort of things. It's positive risk taking, and they're kind of exploring the world around them. And we've had teens who come into our program wanting to be zookeepers, and they leave our program wanting to do something different. So we work with Joseline a lot, and or Manahan now, and Sunshine. Those are organizations for individuals with developmental disabilities. And we now have people who work in those fields. They came in, saw something different that inspired them in a new way. So they still love animals, but they found their passion and vocation in a completely different area, which I think is great. We're broadening horizons. We do a lot of personal development. I went back to school deliberately to get my master's in organizational leadership so I could better package information to train zoo teams in personal and professional skill development. Because there are a lot of opportunities for that. They want to figure things out. And a lot of those things that we take for granted, they don't do in curriculum anymore. You know, we went through different things to gain little life skills or to learn some stuff. And that's not, you can't test that in a standardized testing format, so they don't bother. And so we've just added a lot of different things, including interview and resume seminars. So we'll actually do things where we do mock interviews with some of our adult volunteers, many of whom are retired executives, many of whom have interviewed and hired people over the years, and they'll do mock interviews for the teens, and you know, they get great feedback on that. We've introduced some other things. You know, we had alumni were telling us things they wish they would have learned in high school. So we have cooking skills. You know, the zoo has a kitchen, so our chef has, you know, taught them on some basic cooking skills because again, they don't do home ec classes anymore. You know, it's all kinds of little things. So it's just been really interesting to watch the evolution of the program over the years. We also do a lot to maintain personal relationships with the teens. We have discussion groups, you know, help them work through like test stress and all the different things that are going on. You know, they have to talk about like active shooting drills, things that we never had to deal with. Realistically. And so we partner with the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University. They have social work programs, and social work students will come in and facilitate some of these discussions. And the zoo becomes this safe space. So what on the surface is just an opportunity for, you know, teens to volunteer at the zoo becomes this much larger network of potential, which is great. And then one of the last things that's really interesting is our peer support program for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. That's a phenomenal program, where, you know, we have current teens who will work with peers who are, say, on the autism spectrum or need some additional support. And because it's peer support, it really blends. It doesn't, you know, nobody even knows what's going on. Most of the teens in our program couldn't identify the teens that actually need support in the program because it's not even a thing that you notice. So it's just an excellent, you know, concept of mainstreaming, which provides so many opportunities for people. We have an alumni program, which is great. you know, it's fun as the program has gotten older that, you know, we can have these teens that can connect with alumni that have been there before. I like the photo there, the guy that looks like he's eating somebody's head in the bottom. Consummate professional. He has his doctorate in organic chemistry. He's doing research on coral bleaching in Australia at the Great Barrier Reef. So, you know, it's just humorous that these people that have such intelligence and credentials, and they're doing amazing things. At the end of it all, he's just a goober that I knew when he was 13. So, but you know, it's fun to be able to connect people. The guy next to him holding the cup is a zookeeper. He's an elephant keeper at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. So as teens come in and they have these interests, I can then connect them to people, and the alumni love that. It kind of is a retro moment for them. They can reconnect with someone who's wearing the same shirt they did, you know, 15 years ago. And it's just, I've enjoyed it. It's why I've been here for 21 years. Nobody goes in the nonprofit sector. I know some folks in your Rotary are in the nonprofit sector. Nobody goes in there for the money. So it's all about these other things that you get out of it. And for me, it's just been a truly meaningful ride. 2020 kind of upset the ride a little bit. So it tweaked it a lot. So, you know, we lost a lot of opportunities. So we couldn't do a lot of things that we normally would do. The zoo itself shut down for 3 months. We did gain some new opportunities. So, you know, every time a door closes, another one opens somewhere, and you try to take advantage of those opportunities. We had a lot of our zoo teams went on called deferrals. So we created a deferral option. So there's a no harm, no foul. They just basically took 2020 off, and they'll come back hopefully this year. We know that many of those folks won't. They'll have drifted away into other things. They'll have found new interests. Some of them will have just gotten older, so their interests will have changed. But so this season, we fielded a program of less than 150 people, which for us is small. For many zoos, that's still a massive program, and for us, that was a throwback to like 2006. We haven't had a program that small for a long time. We've done a virtual world, so a lot of interviews and orientations, which and many of you have certainly done. It's been a challenge for me. I'm a technological dinosaur. I'm like 45 going on 97. I can't operate any of this. This is why I surround myself with 13-year-olds. If I have a technical question, I just yell down the hall and ask one of them. So I've relied on my staff, which are younger and certainly more adept at figuring these things out. So I did get an Instagram account. So apparently I'm trying to slowly move into the modern world. I have nothing to post on it because I'm boring, but I'm getting there, you know, onward and upward. The zoo itself, you know, went through a roller coaster this year. You know, we were shut down for 3 months. Especially that last month, we were really fighting to try to reopen because the state of Ohio kept lumping us in with large parks like Cedar Point. And so a lot of places were opening and we were still closed because they saw us like we were lumped in with Cedar Point, which was an enormous setback for us. And then when we did reopen, we reopened for members as a pilot because we had lots of things to figure out. And, you know, if you look back at last summer, there was, you know, I think people have adjusted and are learning how to live with the new normal. But at the time, it wasn't a new normal. It was just a lot of fear and concern about everything. We canceled a lot of events. So the zoo just bled so much money. Our major fundraisers were canceled, but we had 52 weddings set up for last year through our catering department. It's you know, the zoo's a beautiful place to get married. Not the cheapest venue in the world, but it certainly is beautiful. And obviously, most of those weddings didn't happen. You know, we had reduced admission rates. We extended memberships because people had paid for their memberships and the zoo was closed. So it doesn't cost anything on paper, but then that will delay renewals, which will then end up having an impact. So our sponsor and donor shifts have occurred as corporations felt the same, you know, pains, and small businesses, they retrenched their sponsorship monies, and we didn't have much to sponsor anyways. And then concessions and retail revenue, that just collapsed. Our cafe still has not opened because it's an indoor venue. It's not really well built for that. So we're still kind of working its way through things. We had staff reductions. We did have some layoffs. I was incredibly grateful to not have been laid off, and I think the volunteer program is part of that because they circle the wagons, and we were the link to them. So I'm grateful to the volunteers for that. Although we had to then chip in, I served Dippin' Dots for part of the summer. Full-time staff were pressed into duty because I'm salaried, so I would work Dippin' Dots and then get my job done. And so, you know, the zoo took advantage of that, which was fine. It was an okay trade-off. worked in food service since college, so that was a little throwback, reminded me why I went to college in the first place, so I didn't have to do that, ever again. We had a lot of building closures. Some of them still have not opened. Um, the tunnel still is not open. Our cafe, as I mentioned, Nature's Neighborhood, the indoor space where our guinea pig exhibit is, and some of the treetops and some of that stuff still is not open. So we're still kind of working our way through some things. But despite that, the zoo's moving forward. It's an iconic organization. It's been around for 120 years. It's been through one pandemic already, the Spanish flu in 1918. So, the zoo just can keep on chugging. So our total attendance was just under 500,000 people, which is less than half of what we normally get. We did have a nice burst during lights. So people, I think had reached a point where they could be comfortable and come on out. And, we're enforcing mask policies and trying to do some basic safety stuff. We did build some new exhibits. So we opened Barnyard exhibit in May, which was in planning. We did add a horned owl exhibit, which is just off the bridge. So when you come up the ramp, it's just right there, this large exhibit. And horned owls, also known as eagle owls, they're just big and impressive and cool looking. So, they're right there. We've done a lot of conservation research that continues. And so, we've got a sturgeon there that's photographed. That's one of the sturgeons that we released a few years ago. And so they're in the lake and they're continuing to grow slowly as we try to reintroduce a native sturgeon population. That one was found out by Put-in-Bay. So it went from Maumee River right behind the zoo all the way out to Put-in-Bay and is doing fine. And what's nice is as they get bigger, their natural predators decrease significantly. There's not really much that's gonna not much that's gonna affect them. We have a little we discovered for the only people in the world who discovered bioluminescence in Tasmanian devils. We don't know why they have it, but they will absorb light and then re-emit it on an ultraviolet frequency. So, we don't know what purpose it serves. It's actually been found in other Australian mammals. And again, researchers aren't sure why. But for the Toledo Zoo, that was nice as part of our research program with Tasmanian devils. Here's a picture of our barnyard, cute little kids touching sheep. So, and then our orchid show is coming up later this month. So if you, fancy a trip up to Toledo on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, you can come check out the orchid show, which will be really cool. They're going to have a room where they're going to play around with luminescence and orchids. So it'll be like a black room and you can walk in and they'll have it lit up and you can see the way a bee would see orchids. So just a different color spectrum. So that'll be pretty trippy, which should be fun. But overall, the zoo's been doing fine. Our tigers haven't gotten COVID, so we're happy about that because that was a concern that we had. We had a baby gorilla born, so a lot of cool little things are happening. So that is my quick little dirty presentation, but I'm happy to take questions and whatever else.
Awesome. Thank you very much. A lot of information that, I've always been impressed with how much the Toledo Zoo does offer and how involved you guys are and so much more that I didn't even realize you guys participated in. So it was really, really cool to know. Does anybody have any questions for Bill right now?
Bill, I know you kind of touched on it. You guys are still doing the SNAP program then?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually larger than it's ever been. So yeah, we have, in 2019, we had, I think, 44 participants in our SNAP program.
That's the special needs aspect of it, which is where my son was coming in as one of those kids. And for kids like that, especially, there aren't a lot of opportunities. So that was just such a great thing for us to find out and set him up for life skills that, are helping him today. He runs a pet sitting business. He deals with his own clients. And I really think that interaction that he gained at the zoo helped a lot. So thank you, definitely.
Yeah, no problem. And it's a great program because it reaches a very specific subset of very high functioning teens that have, intellectual or developmental disabilities. And it's one of those areas, as a parent described it, it's the worst place to be, that if they were worse off, there'd be more services available. And if they were better off, they wouldn't need services at all. But they're in this narrow band where it's not even a crack they fall through. It's just a huge cave that they're just allowed to fall right through. And so, we cater to those students and we provide them the thing they need the most, which is just peer socialization. And that helps them. Nicole, just to let you know, I know Kyle used to work with Kevin a lot. He was one of Kyle's favorite people to work with. Kevin's now in charge of that program. So he's hired full time. He's
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's the great thing is not only for the kids on that side of it, but the kids on the other side, the life skills it teaches them. For some of us adults, we're not the best at dealing with people that are different than us, and the empathy and the just in whatever skill or whatever career they go into, the things it teaches them in dealing with others is, I think, very valuable. So do you still do all the interview process for the kids coming in? This isn't something they just sign up for. I don't know if anybody realized that. You don't just sign up to be a zoo teen and you're automatically in.
Yeah, no, we still go through the process, and it's actually started now. So we have our information sessions. They start with those in January and February. They learn more about the program. So if you have anyone who's going to be 13 by July 1st and wants to be a part of the teen program, they can go to our website and check it out, toledozoo.org. And you can click on the volunteer link. But there's the info sessions they come to. Then we do group interviews. We'll still do this year. We'll have Zoom and in-person options, and they'll be a little bit smaller than the past. And then they can get accepted. And again, our goal is to take as many people as possible. And I think we've done that. But the process is something where there's value in going through that. They learn a great deal just by going through that process. It's something that they're working towards. They don't necessarily know that the odds are really skewed in their favor, and as long as they're making some positive efforts. So for them, it's an accomplishment. And success breeds itself. I mean, it becomes confidence, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-efficacy, all these different things, and that's how they roll into the program with that type of mojo, and then they just kind of build off from that.
Yeah, that's really incredible to hear. And the things that you teach once they're in the program, it's really impressive to see. Like you said, the self-esteem that they build and the confidence makes all the difference. And you can tell as they get into that professional world, whatever it is that they decide to do, you can tell the difference between someone who has that confidence, is comfortable speaking with other professionals, and is able to present themselves appropriately. I think it's incredible that you guys, prepare them going through interviews and doing mock interviews then, and college setup. And as a financial advisor, I saw financial literacy on the list, and that's incredible because that's one of the most frustrating things to see is that kids don't understand that at all, and they're kind of set up to have difficulties as they go through life if they don't have that understanding. So I don't know what your process is like, but if you have volunteers for that you look for, I would love to be a part of something like that. I think that's great that you guys offer it.
No, that'd be wonderful. We started that. We had a zoo teen parent who worked at Directions Credit Union, and so she it was this convergence. She offered it, and at that same time, we started to get a lot of alumni feedback from what would have been really great is if someone had taught me this, and that's one of the ones that's on the list because business accounting, those classes, they don't do those things because that's not standardized test material, and so it just gets left behind so many things. There's the joke where, it's great that I know the Pythagorean theorem, but I don't know how to balance a checkbook. I mean, one of those has more practical day-to-day application for everyone versus, I'm not an engineer, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or a geometry teacher. Yeah. But no, I mean, I'll bother Nicole, or you can certainly get.
Yeah, I'll shoot you an email.
Yep.
That would be awesome. I would love to be a part of that. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, because we have another parent who's going to talk about insurance. Again, that's not something that kids need to worry about now, and even for a little bit, because they'll be under their parents' medical insurance for quite some time. But having an understanding of what that is, why it matters, and how they can set themselves up for long-term success. Because, teenagers are interesting. They'll remember what they're interested in. They won't forget that. That will not fall out of their brains. They'll keep track of it. So we're always looking for new opportunities. So if you have someone who falls into that category, there's something that we can teach these kids for long-term success, then I'm all about it.
Absolutely. I love it. And it's so true. I remember when my sister, who's 14 years younger than me, the first time she got her first paycheck and had taxes taken out of it, and she was like shocked. I'm sure everybody's seen that teenager that's like, where'd all my money go? I thought I made $8 an hour, $10 an hour. And you have to teach them about taxes. She knew that the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell, but she had no idea that she had to pay taxes.
Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome to see.
Yeah. Well, and we hired Kevin, who's younger, and so he was having a debate. How do I need to put money into my 403b? I'm young. Yeah, you do. Let's sit down. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm your boss, but I'm going to be your friend at the moment and tell you to get your stuff together and get some money in that 403b.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is having someone who can guide them through that. So you encouraging them to do it too is awesome to see that. So
a lot of young people wouldn't know any differently if they didn't have somebody who's already been there kind of pushing them to do those things. And then they appreciate it so much years later. So that's awesome. Good deal. Does anybody else have any questions for Bill? No? All right. Well, anything else for the good of the order before we go ahead and end the meeting today? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. We really appreciate it. Bill, thanks for being here today and all the information.
Pleasure.
If anybody does have anything else, Matt, did you?
No, just waving.
Oh, okay. I thought you were raising your hand. All right. Well, thank you everybody.
Thank you, Bill.
We appreciate it. All right.
Thanks,
Have
Bill.
a good day. Let's go make it a great day and a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Take care.
Program, Nicole.